warm welcome. I'm Dr. Usha Rao, Ayurveda consultant at Jeevatama Health. Since many days, there have been a lot of confusions and queries about Kshara Sutra, which we have been answering orally at clinic. But since Kshara Sutra has become a milestone and most of the people across the globe have been opting it, it's very essential to create an awareness regarding the frequently asked questions in Kshara Sutra. Few of the questions which we come across in our daily practice will be answered by Dr. Sharad Kulkarni, Consultant Surgeon and Managing Director of Jeevatama Health. Hello Doctor, welcome to today's discussion on frequently asked questions on Kshara Sutra.
Hello Dr. Usha.
Yeah, so can we begin with the discussion?
Definitely, you can start.
Yeah.
All right, so most of the frequently asked questions, I think Dr. Usha would be asking it. So let us proceed.
So the first question is, what is Kshara Sutra?
Right, so as you already mentioned that there has been lots of confusion and queries, questionnaires surrounding Kshara Sutra. So this is one of the basic questions which has to be answered, wherein what is Kshara Sutra? So Kshara Sutra I would like to define in an Ayurveda way, wherein it is a medicated thread, Ayurveda way to a layman, wherein it's a medicated thread which is used to treat diseases like fistula or pilonidal sinus, etc., which have been a challenge for surgical science or surgical medicine because of their recurrence tendency. So here, Kshara Sutra is one of the measures with which we can tackle or with which we can handle that problem of recurrence. So basically it is a medicated thread with number of around 21 coatings, which we will be explaining in the upcoming slides. So this is the Kshara Sutra, which we can see. Wherein it is coated with 3 layers usually. One will be the binding agent, one will be the Kshara, and then one would be the turmeric powder. So this is how the final Kshara Sutra looks. I hope I have answered your question, Dr.
Yes, doctor. Okay. So the next question is, in which of the conditions is Kshara Sutra indicated?
Yes, as I already mentioned, so fistula in pilonidal sinus, and to a certain extent hemorrhoids, that is piles. These 3 are the major conditions in which we use Kshara Sutra abundantly. Apart from this, there can be some other conditions like hidradenitis suppurativa or some other conditions wherein we have a tract, or we call it as Nadi in Ayurveda in Sanskrit. So wherever there is a tract, we usually use Kshara Sutra as a parasurgical procedure or as a parasurgical measure to tackle it.
Okay, doctor. So the next question is, how is Kshara Sutra prepared?
Yes. So a basic Kshara Sutra preparation involves 21 coats, that is COATS, coatings of a binding agent, which is usually a Kshara or any other material, which will be holding the thread and the Kshara. And then 11 coatings of that, and then 7 coatings of the Kshara, that is the alkaline ash or the powder which is prepared out of many of the herbs, that would be pasted or coated on the thread. And then after that there will be 3 coatings of turmeric powder or the haridra, which we call in Sanskrit. So this is in brief how we prepare the Kshara Sutra. And here the Kshara powder which is used has a different mode of preparation. So that is not the point of discussion here, as we are only discussing Kshara Sutra. So as
how many days?
It requires around 21 days, wherein this is one of the example which I am going to give you how we prepare Kshara Sutra. One of the example, wherein we have Shuddha Gugulu, so it is a resin, and then this is the Palasha Kshara. So Palasha is one of the herbs which we use, or one of the drug which we use to prepare Kshara. And then this is the turmeric powder which is used for the coating, and then the final product, the Kshara Sutra, you can see in this test tube, wherein you can see around 8 to 10 Kshara Sutra of around 2 to 3 centimeters. So when it comes to Apamarga Kshara, that was the Palasha Kshara, one of the drug used for Kshara preparation. There are several drugs which can be used for preparation of Kshara, and hence Kshara Sutra also. This is one of the other Kshara Sutra, which is Apamarga Kshara.
Okay. Okay, doctor. Moving on to next question. How is Kshara Sutra treatment done, and what is its mode of action?
Yes. So here Kshara Sutra treatment is done as per all the surgeries. Basically, we have pre-operative measures, we have operative measures, and then we have post-operative measures. Pre-operative are those which are to be done before procedure of Kshara Sutra, and then operative is the main Kshara Sutra itself. Then we have post-op protocols also. Post-op, where pre-op will involve some of the investigations, physician fitness, or all the measures which will help us to make sure or ensure that a person is fit for Kshara Sutra. And then the operative would be Kshara Sutra, wherein initially we probe and then use a primary thread, which is a normal thread, and then after that we replace it with Kshara Sutra in a railroad technique, which I think we have been sharing in some of the videos also. And after that, every week or every 8th day, we keep changing the Kshara Sutra. So this is in brief about how Kshara Sutra treatment is done. And the mode of action is basically physical and chemical cauterization. So here, cutting of the track occurs simultaneously along with the healing. So because of the Kshara, the presence of the alkali and the thread. So physical cutting and chemical cutting, both we can appreciate in the Kshara Sutra. And that is one of the beauty of Kshara Sutra also, because cutting and healing starts simultaneously.
So why is this primary threading done before actual Kshara Sutra?
Yeah, the primary threading is done before Kshara Sutra so as to make the body or the person's body accustomed to the thread. So see, basically we will not be used to any thread in the body, right? Apart from external things.
Right.
It will go inside the track and it will come out. So to ensure that everything is fine and we reduce the pain incidence here, we usually use a normal thread first, that is surgical thread, before going ahead with Kshara Sutra.
Okay. So what is the approximate duration of Kshara Sutra treatment?
Yeah, so approximate duration here we can consider it into two. I'll answer it here only. Approximate duration of Kshara Sutra treatment here, one is the complete duration of Kshara Sutra treatment, which I usually tell it as up to 8 weeks. So up to 8 weeks is very essential. You should keep in mind. It may be 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. So up to 8 weeks. So usually it depends on the length of the tract. Here I am talking about pilonidal sinus and fistula in ano or hidradenitis suppurativa only, not for the hemorrhoids. For these conditions, it is around 8 weeks, up to 8 weeks. If the tract length is too much, then it may go more also. If the tract length is less, then it will be lesser. So on an average, it will be around 8 weeks total treatment. And then when it comes to the total duration of duration of Kshara Sutra change, that is each week which we do, we'll be talking later, it is around 20 minutes. Yeah. So around 20 minutes, we will be finishing the Kshara Sutra change.
Okay, doctor. So moving on to next question. Are any investigations required to be done before going ahead with Kshara Sutra?
Yes, I already mentioned that pre-operative analysis, that is any person who is going to undergo Kshara Sutra treatment, we have to analyze that person, whether that person is fit for this parasurgery or surgery or not. So for that, there will be certain hematological investigations, blood investigations, and if required, there will be some cardiac evaluation. If required, there will be physician fitness. After that only, and if required, anesthetic evaluation also. And after that only, we go ahead with Kshara Sutra. Now, when it comes to some of the blood tests, it may be the diabetic profile or the sugar profile which we'll be doing. It may be the vitamins which are required, because later, since we are concentrating on better healing, so a person should be fit for Kshara Sutra and post Kshara Sutra also. And then if a person is having any history of allergies or any respiratory disorders, then we may have to go with chest X-ray. any cardiac ailments, history of cardiac ailments, then we may have to go ahead with cardiac evaluation. So basically, a physician fitness is essential, and after that only we can go ahead with Kshara So this is in general investigation for Kshara. Specific investigation for Kshara in fistula in ano, we usually prefer transrectal ultrasonography, which is called as TRUS or TRUS, or endorectal sonography. It's also called as endorectal sonography, with which we can usually confirm the tract or the length of the tract, exact location of the external opening, internal opening, and if there are any bifurcations in the tract. All these can be noted through transrectal ultrasonography. Of course, MRI fistulogram can also be opted, but with transrectal ultrasonography, we usually come to know everything about a fistula in MRI.
Okay, doctor. Thank you. The next question is, will anesthesia be given during the procedure? And what kind of anesthesia? Is it general, local, or spinal anesthesia?
Yes. So again, when I was talking about so many confusions, rumors, and questionnaires around or surrounding Kshara this is one of it, because people are usually scared of pain during Kshara which is usually present. I have been speaking about this since last 4 or 5 years. If you can see my first video also on YouTube, I have spoken about the pain, presence of the pain during Kshara treatment. At least for first 3 to 4 weeks, there will be severe pain which a person has to bear. So anesthesia here, I'll be very specific. If we are doing Kshara can be practiced in an operation theatre, that is OT setup, and a non-OT setup, wherein it will be just a OPD procedure. How a person comes for a consultation in an OPD or a clinic, there also we can practice Kshara with a special room or special arrangements. Or we can do it in a hospital also, wherein we have an operation theatre and all the kinds of setup. So if we are opting it for OT setup, that is operation theatre setup, then definitely we prefer spinal anesthesia under anesthetist, and then we perform the procedure. However, every thread change, we cannot opt for spinal anesthesia. So what we have to do is, either we have to be dependent on surface analgesia, that is the spray or the gel, or local anesthesia, which we usually don't prefer, because the pain of local anesthesia or the pain of administration of local anesthesia is almost similar to the pain which is experienced during the change in Kshara. So what I usually prefer is, instead of that trick, if we are able to change the Kshara, of course it will not be that much painful. Initially 1 or 2 weeks, it may seem painful. Later it will be very easy for any person. Usually 99.9% will be easy. So local anesthesia, in which we have surface analgesia as a classification, that is it may be jelly or the spray, or local anesthesia injection also can be used here, or under an expert's guidance, that is anesthetist. If we have in a OT setup, we can also use spinal anesthesia. So this all depends on analysis of a person who is suffering from fistula or pyloric sinus. Based on that, and based on the sensitivity to the pain, we usually decide so as to what anesthesia we have to choose. I hope I have answered your question.
Okay, doctor. Yes. So moving on to next question related to this, is Kshara painful? You've already answered, but how will the pain be like? Yes. Depending on the person, as far as you've seen.
So I think we have been in this discussion since the time I started practicing Kshara or way before it, because when we keep discussing with the allopathic surgeons and anesthetists, then they usually prefer that why are you still in the painful treatment? Why can't you make it painless? Why can't you administer anesthesia and all? Of course, with due respect to all the science, I do accept that. But what happens here is, as I was telling you, every week administration of spinal anesthesia is not practical. First time, that is probing and primary treating, which I was talking about, the first time when we are going to thread the fistula tract or the pyloric sinus tract, we can opt for spinal anesthesia, no doubt about this. But later, it has to be local anesthesia or the surface analgesia, a part of local anesthesia, which has to be used. However, whatever we use, once the anesthesia effect is done, once that analgesia is gone, definitely there will be pain, as in all the surgeries. Fine. In any surgery, once the anesthesia effect is gone, there will be pain. Similar thing happens with Kshara also. Only thing what we have to note here is, post Kshara change, not the probing and primary threading, that time it will be almost nil, only hardly 0.5% pain would be there. Once we start with Kshara Sutra, once the actual cutting of the track happens, that time, once we change the Kshara Sutra, at least for next 48 hours, there would be pain, and we advise patients, or we advise the person who has undergone Kshara Sutra to usually note down that pain and then maintain it with some of the internal medications, or else it would be little bit disturbing, especially for the first 3 to 4 weeks. Like first 3 to 4 weeks, Kshara Sutra change, after which for 48 hours to 72 hours we can expect little amount of pain, or sometimes good amount of pain if a person is sensitive, is expected, and we have to cope up with it accordingly. I hope I have answered this question also.
Yes. What else can a patient expect along with pain?
Yes. So usually once we thread the person, that is once we perform the probing and primary threading, and then we change the Kshara Sutra either on 3rd day or 4th day, which is a standard protocol being followed these days. Some of the other features or some of the other symptoms which a patient can experience is discharge of the pus or bleeding through the external opening or through the anus itself can be experienced. So pain, pus discharge and bleeding can be expected along with the Kshara Sutra treatment, and it is absolutely fine for first 3 to 4 weeks. Afterwards, it will stop automatically. So these things, they shouldn't panic and they should go ahead. And one thing I wanted to mention here, so whatever we are practicing these days, the Kshara Sutra technique was or is developed by Dr. P.J. Deshpande, respected P.J. Deshpande sir. So after that, we have so many pioneers in the field of Kshara Sutra. So to name, there are many. So from whom I have also learned. This was one thing which I wanted to, you can call it as tribute or information also.
Okay, doctor. This brings to next question. How can the other symptoms like pain, discharge be managed?
I think sitz bath is one of the remedy. That is, take a lukewarm water in a white tub, and the temperature of the lukewarm water should be similar to how much you use for bathing or shower, and then sit in that for at least 5 to 8 minutes or 10 minutes once a day. Plain lukewarm water is sufficient for sitz bath or the tub bath. Through that, we can manage around 70 or 60% of the pain. The rest of the pain can be managed by internal medications.
Okay. So as you said, internal medications, will that be continued during the procedure? Like Kshara Sutra, once Kshara Sutra is started, should the internal medicines be continued?
Yes. This is also one more important thing, which I think many of them were, though many of them appreciated, some of them were against one of my video on YouTube. It's still existing, wherein I had quoted clearly that fistula in ano and pilonidal sinus are usually surgically treatable diseases which either require surgery or Kshara Sutra, and it cannot be treated with medicines alone, internal medicines alone. This was very clear statement which I had done. As of now, I am talking about. We don't know about future, but as of now, today, if we are planning to treat a fistula in ano case or a pilonidal sinus case, then definitely a surgical approach or a Kshara Sutra approach along with internal medications is essential, and internal medications will continue till the completion of the treatment.
Okay, doctor. So moving on to next question. Should particular diet be followed during Kshara Sutra?
Yes. Particular diet during Kshara Sutra is to be followed. Before that, very important thing is for the disease like fistula in pilonidal sinus or hemorrhoids, we have specific diet and lifestyle which has to be followed. Plus, we have some things which are to be followed for Kshara Sutra also, like avoiding very spicy foods, deep fried Manchurian foods, or salty foods, pickles, and too much of non-veg eating, too much of extraneous works. All things should be avoided during the Kshara Sutra. And then some of the foodstuffs which can be consumed include, like it may be rice, who are accustomed to rice. Milk is fine who are not lactose intolerant, and buttermilk is fine, ghee is fine, honey is fine for those who are not diabetic, and lots of vegetables, fruits, again those who are not diabetic, lots of fluids, water, and chapatis are fine, wheat is fine, jowar is fine, ragi is fine, millets are fine. So all these things can be intaken along with dry fruits like badam and walnuts can also be taken. Cashew in minimal quantity like 1 or 2. So these things can be definitely intaken.
Okay, so basically anti-inflammatory food is advised.
Yes, anti-inflammatory food is advised. I think we missed one question wherein the sitz bath, continuation of the sitz bath during the Ksharasutra treatment.
Right.
That is important because many of them are confused with that. Once the Ksharasutra is done, if we sit in the water, then the effect may nullify and all. Of course, that is not false. It has some truth in that feeling, emotion, and statement. But having said that, we have to also take care of the hygiene part and the pain part. So once Ksharasutra is administered or once Ksharasutra is done, performed, definitely a person can go ahead with sitz bath, provided he or she takes care that the anal area or the anal region post sitz bath, that is after sitz bath, is dried properly with a clean cotton towel, or else they can use a blow dry to just dry the area, and then shouldn't keep the thread moist because already there is lots of moisture in that area, may it be because of cells, may it be because of pus, blood, or may it be because of sweat. Apart from that, if we keep water also there, then there are all the possibilities that we'll have less or reduced effect. Plus, missing of the thread would be one of the fear. So, sitz bath is advised with conditions apply things which I have already mentioned.
Okay. Thank you, doctor. So, moving on to next question. Can prolonged sitting affect Ksharasutra treatment?
Yeah, definitely prolonged sitting. Not only during the Ksharasutra treatment, prolonged sitting can affect for anyone. So most of the anorectal diseases or anal diseases like piles, fissure, fistula can be caused. I'm telling not be caused, can be caused or may be caused because of prolonged sitting. So during Ksharasutra also it applies. The pain may increase if a person sits too much post Ksharasutra treatment. So we advise them to either purchase a pillow which is specifically for anorectal diseases. There is a pillow with a like we have this discus throw kind of pillow wherein we have a hollow space in between, or else any specialized pillow for anorectal diseases they can definitely use on the chair. And apart from that, they can take a break of 5 to 8 minutes. For every 30 minutes or 20 minutes, they can just get up, roam around, drink a glass of water, relax, or drink a glass of buttermilk if they are not suffering from cold, cough, and fever. Then just sit and continue the treatment.
Okay, doctor. Next question is, what are the chances of recurrence with Ksharasutra?
Okay. Again, when we call Ksharasutra as the hallmark of Ayurvedic surgery, the main thing which is told here is the minimal recurrence rate or low recurrence rate or no recurrence rate or nil recurrence rate. So all these things apply properly for the Ksharasutra. If Ksharasutra treatment is performed methodically and properly as explained in the classics, then the recurrence chances are very, very, very minimal or almost nil.
Okay. Next question. What is the duration of change of every Ksharasutra thread?
Okay. This I was already mentioning. The standardized one is 7 days. Every 7 days we change the Ksharasutra. Of course, once the probing and primary threading is done, after that the Ksharasutra is tied maybe 3rd or 4th day of the probing and primary threading. After that, every Ksharasutra change is on either 7th day or 8th day or 9th day or 10th day. But as per standard, it is every week once. Because of all the busy schedule of the people, because since most of them are into IT profession, those who are suffering from fish lining or pylon sinus, we keep it around 7 to 10 days. Like it can be changed on 7th day or 8th day or 9th day or 10th day. However, most of the precautions should be taken during this time, because if we prolong the change of the Ksharasutra, there are all the chances that it can be missed.
Okay, so the probing has to be done again.
Yes.
In that case. Can physical exercise activities like exercise, cycling, walking be done during Ksharasutra?
Yes. In a minimal manner or in a limited manner, there can be physical activities like walking, jogging, cycling can be continued during Ksharasutra. Of course, swimming is not advised. Other things can be continued.
Okay. Moving moving on to next question, should internal medicines be consumed during Kshara Sutra, which has already been answered.
Already answered.
Yeah, right. How will the patient know once the track is cut, and what should he do next?
Yeah, this is a very important question. So suppose this is a thread, this is a knot, and this is the track. Fine. So we have tied this thread like this, and this is a knot. Once the track is cut, so the thread is obtained along with the knot intact or the intact knot. So if a person notices this intact knot with the thread and it has come out properly, then it means that the track is cut. However, sometimes because of the moisture, the knot may be opened or the knot may miss, and then the thread may come out. That time you will not see any knot, it will be open-ended thread. So at any cost, when we tell the person that maybe like 4th, 5th, 6th week, we come to know once we see that during the change of the Kshara Sutra, we usually tell them to be alert and keep feeling the thread, not pulling it and all. Just feel the thread. If the thread is missing, then they have to immediately contact the Ayurveda surgeon who has performed the procedure or the team. If they communicate with us, we definitely analyze what has happened and we guide them accordingly.
Okay, doctor. So, what are the chances that one may discontinue Kshara Sutra treatment?
Very remote chances, like hardly maybe 0.5% chances that one may discontinue Kshara Sutra, and it is basically because of pain. Sometimes a person is not able to withstand the pain during the therapy or post-therapy. That time they may discontinue the treatment. However, in my practice, I've seen only 2%, one of fistula case and one of spinal nodal sinus case who have discontinued the treatment. But we usually try to make it maximum painless. So we always try that we and like the whole team, we always are aimed towards reducing the pain during Kshara Sutra.
Yeah. So we counsel them for pain before the treatment, right?
Yes. Pain, any surgery, any treatment, any procedure, there should be proper counseling before the treatment and after the treatment also. Before the treatment, it involves the consent and the information about the treatment and the risks involved in the treatment, whatever it is, like everything about the treatment. Like I think this would be a best video to just show any of the person who is undergoing Kshara Sutra or who is planning to undergo Kshara Sutra. If we show this, then they'll be knowing what is it, how is it going to happen and all. Not 100%, but at least more than 50% they'll be aware of the things which they are going to go ahead. So as I told, it is a surgery or it is a procedure with proper protocols. So everything has to be followed. May it be the informed written consent, or may it be the physician fitness, may it be the counseling regarding the therapy, etc.
Okay. So moving on to the last question. What are the benefits of Kshara Sutra? Why should one opt for Kshara Sutra apart from the other surgical procedures?
Yes. So I think here and there scattered information I've already given. One is it is OBD procedure, like how you just come for consultation, just come down, get the Kshara Sutra done and go back. So number one. Number two, no need of hospitalization. Again, one and the same thing, OPD procedure, not a hospitalization procedure or no need of admission into the hospital, and you can go ahead with your routine properly. You will not get that feeling of like bedridden kind of thing once we go ahead with either fistulectomy or fistulotomy. That post-op bedridden feeling you will not be having, and no need of dressing and frequent visits to the OPD. Just 1 week once and hardly 15 to 20 minutes. Like 20 minutes is the maximum time which I have told you. We usually complete it in I think 5 to 8 minutes or 10 minutes. But however, 20 minutes is the thing which has to be kept in the mind. So, and recurrence, low recurrence or no recurrence is one of the important benefit of Kshara Sutra. And apart from this, once a disease is treated with Kshara Sutra, it will not occur at that site again. This is one of the beauty of Kshara Sutra, which is told in Ayurveda. Of course, beauty of Kshara, that if we treat a disease with Kshara, any disease which is not being treated by anything else can be treated by Kshara. This is one statement. Then once we treat it with Kshara, there is no punarudbhava, that is no recurrence of that disease at that site. It's very important. So I think these are most of the benefits of Kshara Sutra, which I would like to mention.
Okay. Yeah, these are the commonly asked questions, Doctor. Thank you for answering them. It was great having you to answer them.
Thank you, Dr. Usha, for being a voice of the public, wherein so many questions were answered, but it was in a scattered manner. I think somewhere we put it together, and if someone will be able to see this video or see this conversation, I think, as I told, they'll be in a better position, or they'll be aware enough to understand about Kshara Sutra, at least for more than 50%, which is, I think, a good thing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor.